Hello and welcome to day 3 of the Commander deck build draft advent calendar thing that I am doing. So, we've had 2 booster decks so far. We've had the Commander Legends, which was reasonable and gave us our good direction. And we had the Core 2019 booster, which, yeah, frankly that was disappointing. So we're going to hope for a slightly better one here. There is another Core set boost in here somewhere. There's also 3 Legends packs. I still haven't got the Dominaria one, so if I end up one short, we might just have to see what we get here. We get Dominaria. Okay, Dominaria is a good pick here. So Dominaria is guaranteed to have a legendary creature that can be a commander in it. It also is a good general single color set. There is quite a lot of powerful cards in it, including stuff that cares about legendary creatures. And obviously we're going to have at least 2 of them available. We might have 3 still, though we'll see. We're looking less likely at getting Imori into the deck. But we shall see how this goes. I mean, if we open a Teferi, we're probably going to go Teferi and try and force white and just regret all the white that we had previously and hope we can get a legendary creature. In fact, if we were to get Teferi, I think we're allowed to do Brawl rules, so I could have a legendary creature commander. I'd have to check the rules on how this works, because I don't think this is strictly speaking Brawl, although I guess it makes sense to be Brawl. Also means that if we were to get any duplicates of cards, which seems unlikely, but I suppose we could for Commander Legends, we can only use 1 copy of each. So, let us see what we managed to get here. We get, off the start, the Gitu Lava Runner. So this is a great piece of the mono-red deck that was definitely a thing not so long ago. I mean, mono-red's always a thing, but this is just a really good attacking creature. It just requires a bunch of instant sorceries in the graveyard, but doesn't care about legends. Our second is a Homarid. Oh, who remembers Homarids? I still have some Homarid cards somewhere. But yeah, the crab people have returned, and when it enters the battlefield, target player puts top 4 cards of their library into their graveyard. So a little bit of milling. Mill is a semi-viable strategy here, but it's not really what currently our cards are focused on. But still, worth considering. Excavation Elephant, which has a effect known as Kicker. So Kicker is basically an additional cost when you cast a spell, and it does 1 additional thing. So you can play it on its own as a free 5 with no effects, or you can play it for 7 mana as a free 5 that gets an artifact from the graveyard back to our hand. I mean, not amazing, but certainly fine. Card number 4 is the Cabal Paladin. So whenever we cast a Historic spell, so Historic spell is any legendary creature, any artifact, or any Saga, which is a specific type of enchantment, which I think is in Dominaria and Theros Reborn, I want to say. I don't think they're the only 2 places that have them, but if they come up, I will show them that point. But a 4/2 that does damage to each opponent whenever we do that, play an artifact, it's not bad. Again, it's just in the wrong colours for us. Next up, we have a Corrosive Ooze. So when it comes into play, when it becomes blocked by an equipped creature, destroy all equipment attached to the creature. I don't think an equipped creature is ever going to block this, but you never know. It's a potential upside. Next card is Rat Colony. We can have as many cards called Rat Colony in our deck as we want. Normally you're restricted to 4 in most standard types of Magic. Singleton, so 1 copy of in Commander. You can have as many copies of Rat Colony as you want, and it gets more powerful the more Rat Colonies you have. I think given that we only have 1 pack of Dominaria, and we could still, I guess, have a foil Rat Colony in here, I think 2 is probably not really relevant for this. Although it is a rat I control, not Rat Colony, it's specific to say. So we could get rats. Just seems unlikely. Next card, Run Amok, which is a combat trick. So it's an instant we can cast at any point to give a creature additional free power, free toughness, and trample. So we can keep something like Rogak alive, in all honesty. So we can turn Rogak into a 3/4, first strike, menace, trampler, because trample twice, but doesn't really do a lot by itself. We want equipment, and we want things to generally power up Rogak externally to that are permanent, that we don't have to keep casting every turn. But it's an option at least. Next card is a Voltaic Servant. So it's combo-y. At the beginning of each end step, we untap an artifact. So it can attack and then just untap and be on defense. Give itself vigilance. But that's kind of weak. We might get some cards that make this better, but I doubt we're going to get them in this booster pack. We then get Unwind, which is a counter spell. So counter spells basically prevent a spell from being cast. counter target non-creature spell, and then untap 3 lands. So it also allows us to do other things on that turn as well. Unwind so far looks like the pick at the moment, or at least one of our picks. Yeah, we're not really helping ourselves out on the +6 or just getting Scry, but this is fine. Next card, Eviscerate, destroy target creature. Which you think would be okay, especially as we know people are going to have legendary creatures. But in Commander, you generally want to have answers to multiple things rather than just answers to single things where possible. Because if you spend your single answer to kill a single threat, the other 2 players have basically gained an advantage on you because they have not had to use their single threats, and they have also not had to use a card to do so. So they have more in hand. Yeah. Okay, the next card is a Urza's Tome, which is a 3 mana, draw a card, then discard a card unless we exile an historic card from our graveyard. So it will allow us to use our exiled artifacts as fuel, but also card draw is usually never a bad thing, so that's on the maybe pile as well. We then go into Joyra's Familiar, which is a flying bird. Historic spells cost 1 less to cast. So it's any artifact. My legendary creatures, which I guess is ramped for Elgath or Imori actually if it comes to it. That's on the maybe pile as well. It can go into anything. We are definitely going to have one of those. We then get our rare, which is Primeval's Glorious Rebirth. Return all legendary permanents from the graveyard to the battlefield. This is a great spell. I love it in Commander. There's no way we're going to be able to cast it. Not with what we're doing here. And our final card, it isn't a land or a sapling token, is Slinvoda the Rising Deep. So it is a 8 mana, 8/8. But we can pay 10 and bounce anything that isn't a Merfolk, Kraken, Leviathan, Octopus, or Serpent. So this meets a few conditions here. It's a big creature for Emoti. It's also a mass removal spell if we get late into the game and need it. And yeah, I think this might be fine. So that's our real options here with what we're going out for these. I think Slinvoda we're going to take because we need some form of removal. The game might hopefully go long. We might be ignored that long, so that's fine. I'm not a fan of counter spells, but it's probably worth having one just in case there is a spell we don't want. And then the question is card draw or making our commanders cheaper. And I think that given that we now have a few legendary creatures and we might get more, I think we might take the Familiar here. It also makes our artifacts cheaper, and we are going to get artifacts through the set as well. So, okay. So we could take that, or we could take a 5 mana draw spell each turn. Or at least a 3 mana draw. If it was a 3 mana draw and we didn't have the additional discard or exile effects, I might be okay with that. But I think, yeah, that is our pick. So, toss cards all over the place. So yeah, that is us done with that booster. Was there anything in red we cared about? I am focusing a bit more on blue at the moment, and I mean, that's probably fine. We don't know that we're committed to going green yet, and even though we do have Rogak as a partner commander that we could add anyway, we might get additional ones if we can open up a Legends booster later. So yeah, I'm okay with this. This is unfortunate, because if we were in either black or white, I might have kept this as an option just because it is such a good effect. But that is all we can do for now. So, I'll see you tomorrow for another 3 cards getting added to the deck. So, until then.